Welcome to the Big Fat Gay Podcast, where we like to talk about the things that are weighing on our minds. My name is Michael. I am a chaser. I had done this dozens of times before. I don't know why I fucked it up, but today I am a Sunday afternoon 30 Rock binge watch after a very, very long work week, and it feels so good. But how are you guys?
It's Monday.
Wow.
I know, but that's what it feels like today. That's what I feel like today.
Oh.
My name is Don. I'm a big chubby guy living in Hollywood, and I am my Saturday afternoon bad horror movie watching spree.
I like that.
My name is Dan Oliverio. I'm an author, public speaker, chubby chaser, and I am my late night Blacklist binge watch fan.
Oh.
I'm Trevor Keyson. I'm a super chub, and I am the feeling when you wake up and you're like, oh, it's Sunday, but actually it's Monday. And then it hits you that it's Monday. You're like, oh, fuck.
No. Just pretend that it's me today. You'll be fine.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back.
Hello. Welcome. Yes. It's us again.
As the world burns.
Someday we shall be back in the room together.
Oh, I'd like that.
For those of you
Oh my
listening to
God,
the far future, we are on week 56 billion of the quarantine.
Yeah. This is to the sentient cockroaches listening, trying to understand what a podcast was.
On behalf
It's
of all
this.
of us here at the Big Fat Gay Podcast, we salute our new cockroach overlords.
Yes.
This is why
Okay, good job, everybody.
Yeah.
Let's go.
This is why the Maya measured time in cycles rather than, just long dates.
Oh, man.
Well, I think the fan belt's broken on this particular cycle. That's all I'm saying.
It's squeaking and scratching.
Well, I mean, since we're talking about the world burning and being terrible, why don't we
As usual.
go into the mailbag? So play us in with the mailbag music. I think we
Yay.
used once.
It's playing right now.
Okay.
And go.
So since, I don't know, we haven't really done a mailbag yet this season, and mailbags made me think of how important it is to save the United States Postal Service.
So to the people in the future listening, this was the point in history where you either remember as the point that everything went to shit or everything almost went to shit, but we saved it.
Or you're listening, like, what's
Yeah.
the Postal Service? What's mail?
I don't know. I think we all owe Kevin Costner a big apology because that whole The Postman movie is just a little on point now.
The Postal Service is, the president is trying to dismantle the Postal Service, which is just a bizarre sentence to have to say. Thankfully,
2020.
2020, Jesus Christ. But so the House may be reconvening early from their vacation to discuss this issue of mailboxes being taken away, mail sorting machines being thrown out, remaining mailboxes being sealed shut. Actually, one of our listeners shared a video of a mailbox that had been turned around from its previous position so that you had to like go around it into the dirt, and then it's sealed shut once you kind of trudge across that way.
Yeah. The
Anyway.
current postmaster actually stands to make hundreds of millions of dollars if the post office fails because of investments in competing companies.
Which is why he was appointed.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you may be asking yourself, oh God, why? What can I do? So there's a lot of petitions going around. I know I sent a text to, let me find it.
It's 50409. It's the resist bot.
Yes.
If you text USPS to 50409, it will ask you a few simple questions and send an automatically filled out letter to your specific representatives. Basically, it's sort of an individualized letter that's sent by form. It's really easy to do. I actually just did it last night. And it'll go straight to your representative, basically letting them know, like, hey, this is why the USPS is important. This is why you should fucking save it, please.
I've done it several times because I keep forgetting that I did it.
Yeah. And we're just going to run on the assumption that you all out there understand why the post office is important, even though we make fun of it. But
Yes.
especially during the pandemic, that is how many of us will probably be voting. And
Yes.
apparently they're just setting up more and more hurdles for people to vote. So,
However, if it turns out for whatever reason that you can't use the vote by mail ballot, or you can't mail the vote by mail ballot, my little sister actually just posted this,
Yeah.
and she said she vetted it, and I trust her because she's on this stuff. You can request your mail-in ballot as normal. Don't mail it in, though. Fill it out, and you can look up your supervisor of elections in your area to see where you can drop off your mail-in ballot. And she said it's usually not the polling place. So you do have to kind of look up where you can drop it off.
But you can actually drop it off at the polling place. That will be perfectly fine. And the problem that's been growing with this post is it makes people think, oh, so it's not secure, so I can't mail it in. The other side of this is that it weakens confidence in the electoral process. Because you absolutely can mail it, and you absolutely can drop it off at a polling place. That will not be a problem. But if you want to take extra steps, that's fine.
yeah, but do be sure to check in advance the rules for your state, because they will vary a little bit.
Yes, that's true.
Sure. And I guess the idea is that, like, if for whatever reason the USPS isn't able to handle the overload of, or not overload, but handle the load of ballots that get mailed in, like, you want to make sure that your ballot gets in somehow.
As a side note, Trump actually attacked drop-off ballots today. So that may be his next thing that he pursues.
He's just sort of against voting generally. So
yeah.
Well, because he knows he's going to fucking lose.
Well, if the more people vote, the more he's going to lose. That's how that works. That's why we invented the Electoral College.
Something else you can do to support the post office is go to USPS.gov. No, that's not it. What is it? .com? Yes, .com. Okay. USPS.com. And go to their store and buy some stamps. Send a letter that will hopefully get delivered. They also have other merch, like you can get a costume for your dog or child so they can be a mail carrier. They have
it's the same costume.
Yeah. They have some tote bags. They have a stamp dispenser that's pretty cool. They have T-shirts and stuff that don't come in fat sizes, so
who cares?
Yeah.
They make great oven mitts. Just saying.
Please note, do not use a T-shirt as an oven mitt. This is not advocated by the Big Fat Gay Podcast. Do not hurt yourself at home. Do not bake your bacon in the oven with an oven mitt made out of a T-shirt.
Don,
Thank
is this
you.
the kitchen accident that you were referring to?
My bread machine exploded.
No.
Yeah, my roommate's fixing it right now.
We just looked into getting a bread machine. Should we be afraid?
I had to
No,
pre-order
it's just
one.
the fan belt came off, and I think I have a really old bread machine.
I was going to say fan belt. Do you need coal for this?
God damn.
Don't you judge me.
Don,
None of us can deal with your fancy schmancy electricity. Steam worked for my grandparents. It's good enough for me.
Yeah, because that
Don-
electricity, it'll drip on your carpet.
Don dropped off some delicious granola bread for us.
Oh my God, it was good.
Yes.
Oh, you
But
like
Oh,
it?
yes.
Oh, awesome. Yes.
Now I'm imagining Don
Nice.
like pulling a ripcord, like to start up the bread.
Oh my God, how satisfying would that be?
So, Trevor, I see under our mailbag segment, there's something called Mr. Dinkles.
Oh God, yes.
What's up with that?
So, as much as I am rallying the cry to save the United States Postal Service, I am having some major issues getting a package.
Oh, right.
That they attempted to deliver, but I guess I don't think they really rang our doorbell. So I got one of those things to like reschedule delivery. So I rescheduled it, but then they never delivered it. And I tried to modify the existing redelivery thing, and they said, okay, make a new one. So I tried to make a new one, and they said, oh, there's one existing. You have to modify it.
Oh my God.
And I have until Saturday to try to get this sorted out.
Otherwise, it gets mailed back to Russia.
Yes. And what I purchased from Russia
Whoa.
was a custom
Mail-in bride?
made
Mail order groom.
mail order stuffed animal of the character Mr. Dinkles from the Trolls movie, who is the
Okay.
the pet caterpillar of James Corden's character.
It's always entertaining to me, like which things don't have merch.
Yeah.
Like I went to Avenue Q. I loved Avenue Q. Had a great time, and then I really, really wanted some of those the bad idea bears. I wanted them. I wanted them like I have never wanted a stuffed anything in my life. Can't find them anywhere.
Well, the conspiracy theory that I'm working up is why you cannot buy a Winnie the Pooh t-shirt in anything but a woman's or a child's size. Like, if anybody should have a Winnie the Pooh t-shirt, it's my damn husband. I mean, come on. Have you seen him?
The funny part is I discovered that Disney fans call themselves Pooh-sized.
Yeah.
And yet there is no Winnie the Pooh t-shirt that is available for men. Many men.
Let's face it, though. If you had the Winnie the Pooh t-shirt, Trevor, you would just walk around with it on and nothing else, just like Pooh all day long. Wouldn't you?
Yes. I mean, that's what I'm doing right now.
He's got this little red t-shirt that doesn't quite cover his belly, and it's adorable.
Wait a second. Show of hands. Who here is wearing pants?
Oh, wow.
Hey, Dan and I, once again.
It's just the chasers. Okay.
The store that I purchased my Mr. Dinkles from is Angelina Lilly, one word. She's in, let's see if I can pronounce this.
Oh, boy.
Zytometer, Ukraine.
Are you casting a spell?
I mean, I'm not.
I love Eastern Europe. It's like they never invented the vowel.
Yeah.
Where sometimes Y is always Y.
or like the Hawaiian Islands stole all the vowels and
I have actually presented that theory before.
And they have a dearth of consonants,
I think Poland actually has no vowels because Hawaii invaded them at some point and took them all.
It took them all.
So Trevor, did you find the info?
What?
Did you figure out how it's pronounced?
No.
Moving on.
That would be my job.
Moving right along.
Welcome to our marriage. That's my job. No, Trevor has zero interest in that.
So, do we want to start with the bad? Do we want to start with the bad news or the good news as far as the pop culture goes?
I guess the bad neus is.
All right. Well,
we got everyone real high with me not knowing how to pronounce this, and now we're gonna knock them down before we lift them back up.
That's how our show works. So, unfortunately, Ash Christian, who is an Emmy-winning producer and actor and director and writer, died recently at the age of 35. And Trevor/Dan, you said you knew people who knew him. Is that right?
Trevor does.
Yes.
Well, I guess we both do. Both do.
I know a bunch of different people kind of in different, I mean, they're all in the fat world because that's my world. But in different, quadrants.
And he's gay too, right?
Yes.
He's gay and he's fat.
Yeah.
My friend's boyfriend actually met him because 10 years ago on MySpace, he sent him a message being like, "You're cute." And then they struck up a little friendship.
MySpace.
Yeah, remember that.
Oh, that's a throwback. No, but he's kind of one of those not impressive. He's one of those inspiring stories because he moved out to LA when he was 16 years old. Made his first feature film when he was 19 and has just been sort of in the independent film world ever since then, bringing up new talent, winning. He's won a Daytime Emmy, and he just was kind of an inspiration to people like me, for instance, who are trying to do the same thing. And it's very sad to see him go.
He produced the Hurricane Bianca movies with Vanessa.
Yes.
What's her name? My God, Bianca Del Rio. Thank you. So our sympathies to his friends and family during this time, and stay strong.
Mm-hmm. So let's. We've bottomed out. Let's go right back up again.
It's a roller coaster every episode.
So we have a nice sort of fantasy casting for you.
So Don and I actually were kind of talking about the tweet that inspired this last week when the news came out that they were eyeing Shia LaBeouf for the new X-Men movies and the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Mm-hmm.
To which Nicole Byer replied, "Yo, let me be Fat Storm."
Amazing.
Yes.
And then she replied to her own tweet and said, "And after I'm cast, we can drop fat and just call me Storm."
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Yeah, that's really important.
And then somebody included some concept art of Fat Storm, and it looks fucking awesome.
It does.
And the caption is, "When you command the elements, but also got lots of booty." She's very sexy.
I can't think of X-Men has been around since the 1960s. I can think of two fat characters that they've ever had, and both of them had superpowers either about their stomach or about being fat. And I would love to see a little bit more diversity there.
Yes.
I should say that there are a number of artists and websites devoted to. I think the artists are mostly male chubby chasers, and the subjects are all female superheroes who who are fat. So there's a fat Wonder Woman, there's a fat Storm, there's a fat.
There are fat Disney princesses out there too.
Exactly, and the straight chubby chasers are just putting all that stuff out there.
And this Twitter thread has a fair amount of that art in it. So if you want a really quick access point to see some of those, a lot of people have been commenting with those art pieces, and they're quite well.
We'll have a link to that on our website.
Mm-hmm.
There is a new book out by Julie Murphy that is a YA novel about the character Faith from the comics.
She wrote Dumplin', right?
Yes.
This is the superhero?
Yes, Faith.
Okay, good.
The Faith, the superhero that we've mentioned before. I mentioned that Julie Murphy wrote a YA novel before, but now it's out. And there's an audiobook narrated by Joy Nash, who was the star of Dietland.
Oh, okay.
So it's,
Cool.
it's like a perfect little Oreo or some kind of sandwich item of lovely fat stuff.
I got to watch Joy Nash in oh God, what was it called? It was the new series they came out with this year with a little girl who's a super intelligent AI and can control the world and all that stuff. But Joy Nash gets to play a hacker in it for like 2 episodes. And like her body is not a factor in her casting. It was just given to her because she was good for the role.
Great.
Awesome.
Which is something I'm not used to seeing.
I know, because you keep waiting for the fat joke, right? It's amazing.
And do we have some Lizzo information this week?
Oh, I can't imagine we don't.
Of course we do.
Always got some Lizzo.
Start the music. Dan was actually concerned last week because the music didn't start right away. So,
well, that's because we didn't get to it right away. Yeah.
I could have extended the drum roll, I suppose, but that would have gotten very tense. And
it's Lizzo Watch 2020. The Lizzo Truth Hurts lawsuit has finally come to an end. There was a lawsuit over the song ownership or the song authorship that was dismissed by a federal judge. I don't know if we talked about this in a previous Lizzo
I don't
Watch.
think so.
This is the first I've
I
heard
don't
of it.
remember hearing about this. Yeah.
But so there were 2 songwriters that claimed they co-wrote Truth Hurts. And basically, so how the lawsuit progressed, to my understanding, was they came out and were accusing Lizzo of not crediting them. She sued them for, I think, defamation.
That's what's unclear. Is I'm not sure what she sued them for, but they had an accusation that they were running around Hollywood, and she sued them. They countersued, and it was their countersuit that was dismissed.
Yes.
And so is it now all resolved, or is there?
I
Still
believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
A neutral
Judges.
win for Lizzo.
Yay! Yay
Excellent.
for things not being worse for her.
But
Except
it's not
that
the now there was but Lizzo got
And now
in
our
more
downer.
trouble.
Yay! We're just on a roller coaster ride.
So I saw this trending during the week, and I later looked because it was on Twitter. So it's going into any hashtag on Twitter is just like a lot. And this hashtag was hashtag Lizzo is over party, which I went in and I'm like, I don't know what's happening. I'm bailing. But I found an article kind of breaking it down. So people were trying to cancel Lizzo because there was a clip of her and Harry Styles from a performance. I mean, they're performing together and she's kind of grabbing at him a little, and it's
like she mimes touching his butt, but she doesn't touch his butt. And the upset is that, oh my gosh, Lizzo is sexualizing this male performer, and that's unacceptable.
Oh, dear Lord.
And saying it's predatory. And there's also a video of Lizzo eating a popsicle while listening to Harry Styles, and people are saying, oh, she's sexualizing him, and this isn't consensual, and blah blah blah. And like, Lizzo and Harry Styles are friends.
Yeah, and it's so clearly a bit. Like, if you watch the clip, he has this over-the-top reaction, and then he immediately turns around and kind of does the same kind of joking, miming, like, touchy-feely behavior right back, and then they continue straight into the performance, and they're both smiling and singing. Like, it's clearly a bit that they rehearsed, and there's nothing more to it. Like, this is just, it's silly that there's anything.
I think it's the musical equivalent of All Lives Matter. It's trying to divert attention from the real issue.
Right.
Yeah. Which, I mean, nothing happened from it. It kind of quickly just turned into
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Like people trying to make it happen. And then one of those things where the hashtag is trending because people are like, why is this a thing?
Right. And sort of it's co-opted.
Well, we have been through a lot of unpleasant news recently.
Yes.
So we have decided we're going to go with something a little bit more fun this week.
Yay.
So in the past, we've discussed how fat characters are portrayed in Disney movies and other children's entertainment. And I mean, it's an interesting subject. There's a lot to go into, but today we're not going to talk about that specifically. Today, what we're going to do is pitch fat-friendly characters for Disney movies.
Yes.
Okay?
Where did this all start, Trevor?
So this was inspired by Rosie Blair's TikTok video that has been kind of going around the internet the past week, where she pitches her idea for a fairy godmother origin story with a body positive spin.
Which I thought sounded really good, by the way.
Oh, when you listen to her deliver it, I'd watch that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a good pitch.
So you want a body positive Disney princess. Well, here's how I think it could happen. A fairy godmother prequel. Before she was the fairy godmother we all know and love, she was an apprentice dressmaker, and her greatest wish in life was to make others feel beautiful. Kevin O'Connor, the original animator for the fairy godmother, based the character on his own wife, Mary Alice. So what would our fairy godmother be named? Mary Alice, of course. Mary Alice loves making extravagant and whimsical dresses, a bunch of bippity-boppity-boo, according to her boss. But her designs soon garner the attention of a certain spoiled rich girl in town, a young Lady Tremaine. Knowing this could make all of her dreams come true, Mary Alice takes on the project with a crazy deadline. She might have to go on a journey to get a very rare and magical fabric. Everyone in town doubts her, and they've already been making fun of her since she was a child because of how she looked. Through some Disney magic, she learns that she has to give herself love before she can give it away to others. That's my pitch, and Disney, you can take it. Just invite me to the premiere.
So she pitched this, and it was a recent pitch, but I think she then later said, oh, actually, Disney is doing I'm not clear if it's a series or a movie for Disney Plus, but a fairy godmother thing.
According to InsideTheMagic.net, it is a movie.
Jillian Bell, who is... she was in Brittany Runs a Marathon, 22 Jump Street, Rough Night, Fist Fight, Goosebumps. They have a fat actress as the fairy godmother, which is
that's what I was going to ask. Is the actress fat?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Kind of.
I mean,
Hollywood fat?
Yes. Like
She's Hollywood fat.
It's something. It's something.
In response to that, we thought that who better than the Big Fat Gay Podcast to make a richer world with more fat, diverse characters. So each of us have come up with a little pitch for a movie. And here we go. Who would like to start?
I don't know if I should start just because I had so much trouble with this.
Then I think you are our brave leader in this one, Dan.
it was very fun watching Dan
poor Dan.
come up with stuff.
Okay, so I had a lot of trouble with this because, as a chubby chaser, the first thing you start thinking about is, oh, I would love to see a fat character. And then you start thinking about, what if Flynn from the Rapunzel movie was fat? And what if Aladdin was fat? And then you realize, no, because those characters are designed, like people would just have a fit if you had a mixed size couple. Like if you made Aladdin fat, and the reason I keep picking Aladdin is because, well, he's shirtless for most of the movie, and it's, so if you had a shirtless fat guy for most of the movie, that would be great. That's my that's my brilliant idea. And then he'd have his shirt off, and then he'd be fat, and then in this scene he has his shirt off, and in this other scene he is like really hot, and in this other scene, and that's my idea. That's the problem. And
So
I realized,
I just want to add to that, just to support your point, and this is just a side note about the live action Aladdin movie. Somebody told me, based on the cartoon, on the animated Aladdin, he said his problem with the live action Aladdin movie was that the guy that they cast, and this is not my words, this is somebody else's words, he said the guy that they cast was not fuckable enough.
oh. Yeah.
As opposed to the cartoon.
Yeah. Well, he's way fuckable. Yeah.
Well, the cartoon's very fuckable.
I mean,
Okay, but so
that
here's
is a fuckable cartoon.
so. Maybe that's why my mind instantly went there in my little on the magic carpet ride inside my sexualized mind. That's where my mind went. And so what I was realizing is that the reason I think the fairy godmother pitch works so beautifully is that the fairy godmother is already fat and the character is not built around her being fat. So there's not like the whole fat joke built into it. So it actually works that the character's already fat, and now we're going to do this expanded universe of the fat fairy godmother. Like, that's brilliant. And apparently Disney decided it was too. And so I was trying to think of, like, are there fat characters already in the Disney universe that, and then I thought about the alligator from The Princess and the Frog. I'm like, okay, probably not.
Wait, hold on. So are you,
I was intrigued.
are you saying that the alligator is the most fuckable fat character in the Disney movies?
For someone out there, he is. I mean, maybe if he was plush covered, that would help, but I don't know.
There are definitely furry chasers out there. Not that the alligator is a furry. I think you technically would be
Scaly.
I mean, furry
scaly?
doesn't.
Is that a thing?
The
you don't want to go down this rabbit hole.
The reptilian furries do not.
I think the furries want to go down that rabbit hole.
Oh no!
Wow.
Thank you.
Anyway,
Thank you.
Wow.
So is Dan? Your idea is
I'm sorry.
fat Aladdin?
I was struggling with what is a fat, and maybe you guys have a rescue for me, but is there a fat character that we want to see an expanded universe of? And that's a great idea for the fairy godmother.
Like Mickey's antagonist. I don't know
Pete.
the name of the character.
Pete.
I feel like he's an interesting character that I wouldn't mind seeing something for.
I recently saw a thread on Twitter where it was Chasers and Chub for Chub guys talking about the scene in a Goofy movie where Pete is in a pink Speedo being like their awakening.
Oh my.
Oh my.
And there's this,
I am looking this
there's
up.
a very kind of, I mean, I only say it's gratuitous because in this context of it's Goofy in the hot tub looking up at Pete. So you get this angle of looking up at this, very large gentleman in a pink Speedo.
Which is clearly a look of longing, isn't it? We all know it must be longing.
Yes.
I am pulling this scene up on YouTube. Huh. Okay.
Michael's doing research.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. I can see what. All right, Trevor, you have to share this link because
Yeah, I'll share it.
So,
yeah.
Fat Man Disney
don't wanna
porn is
spoil
going
it,
up
but-
on our website. And
it happens. The moment you're looking for is at 1 minute 48 seconds.
so, Dan, what did you settle on? Was there?
Well, that's my problem. I think I failed the exercise,
This
and
is-
that's why I wanted to start with me because I can't because it's just. Ugh.
You know
so
another one I think would be a really fun one to do though? The hippo ballerina from Fantasia. Like,
Yes.
Okay.
you do like the full Miss Piggy treatment on that character. Like, blow up the universe. She wants to. This is the thing she wants. She's going after it. Like, you're working within your constraints. I think that character would be a very interesting one to follow.
It's Fame, but with a hippo.
Yeah. So, Dan, great idea with a hippo.
Thanks.
I approve.
I like hippos.
Trevor, you got one?
I
work our way around.
certainly do.
Ooh.
So this, I have to say, this idea does come from like my back pocket for like always kind of conceiving, like whenever it comes up, I always think about when people are like, oh, well, like there should be a fat Disney princess. So my idea for the fat Disney princess movie is The Princess and the Pea.
Ooh.
And so Michael's actually, Don, you're gonna laugh at this too. So I was trying to come up with a name. I wanted kind of, a Disney name, something kind of floral. And I came up with Hyacinth.
Oh, yeah, that's perfect.
Yes. Which was my D&D character in the game that Michael DM'd that I played with Don. And Hyacinth kind of talked like this. I haven't done it in a while. Anyway.
She had a very Minnesota accent.
Oh, yeah.
Very Minnesota.
Very Minnesota.
So what happens to Hyacinth, the Disney
yes.
princess?
So Hyacinth is orphaned when the kingdom is attacked by giants. But she's taken in by Peter, a Randall Park type, and Brianna, a Kathy Najimy type, who are the local farmers. Hyacinth is kind and talented with a green thumb, but she tends to give too much of herself away. So I am imagining like Lizzo as Hyacinth, or, voiced by Lizzo. The call to action, the call to adventure is a storm tears through the kingdom, and Hyacinth is trying to get back home, and she sees an old woman kind of struggling in the storm. She offers her a ride in the cart, Unfortunately, the old woman is actually 3 goblins in a cloak, and they carjack her, and in doing so, steal Peter's prized pumpkin for the upcoming harvest festival.
Oh no!
Gasp.
She's stranded and soaked. She's kind of wandering through the forest. She's rescued by the palace guards and assumed to be part of the upcoming competition to find a bride for the prince. And the queen is horrified by Hyacinth's appearance, so she starts trying to rig the competition against her. So in some versions of The Princess and the Pea, they're, instead of the pea test, it's a petal test where they drop petals on the feet of these women, and the pea princess breaks her foot when the petal drops.
Oh my god!
God damn.
Oh dear.
Yes. But so kind of these...
Damn.
I'm just imagining Kathy Bates, but with petals.
Yes.
Made of iron.
But Hyacinth is sweeping the competition. She wins over many of her fellow competitors as well as the prince. But we see that the queen is looking for the best qualities in these women and stealing them via magic as they're eliminated. So it comes down to the final competition where it's 3 of these women left, and they have to spend the night on these stacks of mattresses. And to try to get rid of Hyacinth, the queen puts a magic pea pod under her bed, which magically sprouts and flings Hyacinth to the giant kingdom.
Oh my goodness.
While she's there, Hyacinth learns...
Wait, are we in Act 3 yet? Wait,
Yes.
what?
Hyacinth learns that the war was actually started by the humans, the war between the giants and the humans that we see at the flashback at the start of the movie. And the kingdom is actually made of items stolen from the giants. The queen of the giants kind of plays like a fairy godmother role and gives Hyacinth a pep talk. The queen then kind of launches an attack on the giants to try to get rid of Hyacinth and to stop the competition so she can remain queen, yada, yada, yada.
I think this has to end with, do you have an ending yet, or should I say what I'm
I
missing?
don't know. I was thinking, I thought of different things. Like part of me is like, well, like feminism, she shouldn't be a princess, but also I kind of want her to be a princess.
It's Disney. You want the princess.
You want the princess ending.
Well, I think it works as long as when she comes back, her role is not to be the arm candy of the prince.
No.
But somehow she is now head of this kingdom, or at least ambassador to the giant kingdom. And like, she's got she has a role. And by the way, she's married to the guy, maybe.
Yeah.
That's cute.
I like it.
I don't know though, that's or Aladdin shirtless.
Yeah.
Tough call.
I think...
So what's the title for that?
I don't know. I mean, I would say The Princess and the Pea, because that's
Let's
what
go
Disney
Princess
used to
and the
do.
Pea.
I feel like the whole new thing is like, so there's Tangled, Frozen,
Peas,
Sprouted, Peas.
Uncomfortable.
Yes. Ooh, maybe Restless or Sleepless or something.
Restless. I like Restless. That's a
Yes.
good one.
That's cute.
Nice.
There is something in there with Peter and the pumpkin. Isn't there a pumpkin eater joke in there
Peter
somewhere?
Pumpkin Eater.
Yeah, exactly.
Peter
But
has
then
to get a giant pumpkin to keep his wife.
I like it. Michael, what you got?
Nice. So I went a slightly different route. I did a little research before I came up with my own pitch, and I found that there's actually a series of novels by Serena Valentino about Disney villains, one of which is Ursula. And so I thought this is probably the likeliest scenario of a fat Disney character getting their own movie. Like this could actually happen because they've started doing it with,
Maleficent.
granted, very, very hot Maleficent, but still. So in this case, it's a young adult novel called Poor Unfortunate Soul, A Tale of the Sea Witch. It's the third in this series, and in this novel, Ursula is King Triton's younger sister who was betrayed by him as a child for choosing a tentacled form instead of a mermaid's tail. So you kind of get that, like, she looks different and therefore is kind of outcast
Now,
by
I'm
society.
sorry. Is this your pitch, or is this something that's existing?
This is an existing story that Serena Valentino wrote,
Okay.
and I thought this would be a fun thing to kind of bring attention to because this could potentially get made into a movie.
Definitely.
And so it's kind of, ultimately it's a tragedy, but I think that's why it kind of fits in that world. So it's less of a fairy tale and more of a Disney movie a la Maleficent, where you get to see where she came from and who she is as a person before it gets to kind of her ultimate tragic demise. But I kind of liked it because it plays on the idea that she looks different, and therefore it kind of has things like she's already losing. She's been set up to fail from the start purely based on how she looks. And you get to see kind of like why she makes the choices she makes. So I thought that was kind of a cool take on that character. And also, if you're interested in that story, you could go read it. Like, it exists. And it's probably better than anything I would have come up with for the character. So yeah, I thought that was cool. It's called Poor Unfortunate Soul, A Tale of Sea Witch.
Nice.
I like it.
Mm-hmm. So what do you got, Don?
All right. So I went original, no existing story. But mine is called Wanda the Welder.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's World War II.
Oh, wow.
Wanda is the youngest princess in the household in the British household. Grows up in Buckingham Palace. Her older brother, Prince Charming, is absolutely perfect. Her older sisters are everything a princess should be. Beautiful, thin, elegant, charming. Wanda doesn't feel that fits her very well, though. Wanda is shorter. She's rounder. She's got frizzy hair. And so, like, the family loves her and they're nice to her, but she feels like she doesn't fit in. But it is World War II. And so everyone in her family is chipping in. Prince Charming is going to the war front. The sisters are touring the country, rallying people and bringing them together. Family doesn't really feel she's well suited for any of these things. So they keep her at the palace. She's sheltered and she hates it. She wants to participate. She wants to do something. So she disguises herself as Wanda, a young commoner, and goes out into the world to see what she can do. And she sees a poster of Rosie the Riveter and is inspired to join a tank factory where she joins up, and she's so excited to, like, she thinks she's going to be with all these people who maybe some of them will look like her and like normal people. And she gets to the factory and she doesn't fit in at all. They're all Rosie the Riveter. They're these big, strapping, amazing athletic women. And she just doesn't feel like she fits there, but she tries. And much to her surprise, everyone there is willing to help her and teach her and help her learn. And so she ends up becoming a really great welder on this tank assembly floor. And then she decides, you know what? Like, I can do this better. We can make this even better. And so she makes this assembly line set up that she's convinced will double the amount of tanks they can make every day. But her tutor back home, Abernathy, who's been teaching her all her life, is warning her, you're going too quickly. You need to test this first. And she's like, no, I believe in myself. I know we can make this happen. And so she runs the experiment with everyone in the factory to show how good it's going to be. And it goes horrifically wrong. Her assembly line blows up, destroys the facility's ability to make tank treads, and knocks them offline for like at least a couple weeks. And to top in plot point, destroys the air defense cannons on top of the factory in the process.
No.
So now they're undefended.
No. Oh my gosh.
But it's England.
So she gets fired, as you might expect, by Sam, the well-meaning and incredibly hunky foreman at the factory. And defeated, she goes back home. All is lost. And then she hears all the lights go off and the air sirens go off and a bombing run is coming. She knows she needs to put this right. So she runs back through the city, helping people as bombs are falling to try and get to the factory where she knows she has an idea. She can get everything working. So she manages to round up all the women. They get to work and they fix what they can of the assembly line really quickly, which is enough to make the gun turrets that go on top of the tanks. And all the women get together, they mount them on the top of the factory, and they get together and they manage to fight off the bomber squadron as they come in, using what they have through their bootstraps and all that crap. So
Cool.
I love it.
She becomes the big hero of the day by rallying people and being who she really is and trying her best in the face of all adversity. And she gets Sam because why not?
Because why not? Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I think that's a great idea.
That is, you should totally pitch that. I mean, I don't know if it quite competes with a fat shirtless Aladdin, but it's darn good. It's darn good.
Anytime
Look, what really can?
anytime Dan brings up fat shirtless Aladdin, I picture fat shirtless Aladdin, but being like, and kind of like opening his tiny little vest a little,
like, shaking his chest a little bit.
So those are our pitches. Which ones would you like to see?
That's genius.
Write in at
Text shirtless Aladdin to 504-950.
I will feel terrible if that wins.
yeah.
So we do have a tip today, yes?
Yes. So this actually is a tip from a listener who suggested a product that's good for skin, kind of like in fold areas or anywhere where there's a lot of chafing. So it's called Elevated by Taylor's Muffin Mist, which it's so she suggested
I don't
it
get the
for,
name either.
It's where does it go? Where do you mist?
So it's designed as a feminine spray, but she advises it as kind of all over body use because it's very natural. It's very clean. There's
So she's recommending it for use in the folds, like where folds chafe and things like that.
Between your thighs, under your.
I think the reference is muffin top, right?
No,
Yeah.
it's
Let's go with
a different
muffin
part
top.
of the muffin.
muffin bottom,
Yeah, I think you need another bite of the muffin, Michael.
or just
Do you not
muff.
know what the euphemism of a muffin is, Michael?
Muff, right?
Yeah, that.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Anyway,
Let's quit while they're behind.
It has a lot of it's very natural, which I like.
By the way, it on Amazon it's only $12.25 a bottle, and there are only 4 left in stock.
Yes.
So if you want
Buy
one,
now.
Bye now.
go out and get it. Use promo code BBW.
They also have something called the Woo Woo Wash and Punani paste.
Tell me that's real.
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's amazing.
I'm imagining someone is going to buy it and like spray it on their muffins and like, these taste terrible.
Actually, with the ingredients they use, it might at least smell nice. I don't know. It might
I
work.
feel like a punani should probably be a spread, Just
Yes.
I mean, it's
like
a paste.
butter.
It's
A body butter.
the Punani paste is definitely spreadable.
All right, folks.
All right.
So
Well, while we're behind.
Today's bit, I wanted to open the door for a short discussion because everyone loves those things on Facebook that says, which Disney princess are you? Answer these questions and find out. So I thought we could have just a quick discussion on which Disney character, and there's a constraint for each of us, are each of our 4 co-hosts are, right? So I'll ask the question and we will discuss. So first, and I've actually randomly assigned what type of character we're going to discuss for each of us. All right. So the question for Dan, of course, is what Disney princess would Dan be and why?
Oh, goodness.
Okay.
I feel like everyone else is more qualified to answer this than I am.
I think Dan would be Belle.
For what reason? What do you think?
I don't know,
because she's really book smart, and she's really logical, and she does whatever she needs to do to get the job done.
And she gets that big hunky beast in the end.
And she gets the beast. Yeah, that actually makes total sense.
I was actually thinking Mulan because he's a scrapper. He can always bring it in a fight. So
that's interesting.
Socially, I mean, not like he's a fist fighter.
I think Trevor nailed it. I think Belle is like spot on.
Belle's a pretty good one. I got to go
and
with
Dan,
that too.
don't you know a little bit of French too?
I do. Mais oui.
Aha.
And every morning Dan goes into town singing his song, insulting everyone.
I mean, come on. He is totally Belle singing about the library and that he's read all the books 10 times. Like, that is
So boring here in West Hollywood where all the books are the same.
That's awesome.
That's absolutely Dan. Absolutely. Okay. Trevor nailed it.
So for Michael, what Disney prince would Michael be? It may be a little obvious, but I'm going with Aladdin.
I was going to say
because
Aladdin
he's
too.
got big dreams and he's got some hustle. So,
I mean, yeah, that was the first thing I thought of because that's where Michael associates himself so strongly.
And I can show some nipple too.
That's right.
Does Aladdin have nipples?
No.
I don't think any Disney characters have nipples or belly buttons.
Yeah.
well,
No, he doesn't have nipples. I don't know if he has belly button or not, but
The Little Mermaid, when that one scene where the seashells slip, you get a little something.
Oh, you get a little side boob?
You do. So let's see. For me, what Disney villain would I be? And why?
Ooh. All of them.
I know. in Pinocchio, isn't there like a fox who lures Pinocchio into that life of debauchery? Isn't that
There is. Yes, there is.
that guy?
At the carnival?
Yeah.
I'm always happy to lead people into lives of debauchery, so I'm on board with that.
I'm
I like
trying to
debauchery.
think.
I think you're more like Jafar, because Jafar is this like schemer. He's always kind of playing behind the scenes, and he's manipulating people, and like he's so smart, but he's always using other people to do his bidding and like turn them against each other. And I feel like that's super Don. Like he very much can like play people against each other and like read people, and I could totally see him doing. And then he gets power hungry and turns himself into a genie.
I told you all that in confidence. Trevor, any thoughts?
I'm going to say Jafar. I was trying to think of, because I was trying to find someone like that where it's very like, oh dear, punching the microphone. I don't know.
He's getting into it.
A plotter.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Jafar's a schemer.
Mhm.
I could see it.
I can take the schemer. That works for me. And last but not least, by any stretch of the imagination, what animal sidekick would Trevor be? And why?
Oh, so many options.
Do the Ewoks count in the Disney universe now that they own Star Wars?
I think I don't remember his name, but I think the raccoon from Pocahontas.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
Hold on, what's his name? Miko, because he's always eating the little biscuits that they have.
I could see that.
I also think there's a point where he has a bunch of fruit in his mouth.
Yeah, and he's like the hummingbirds. Like, yeah, I think Miko for sure. He's really curious and kind of like amazed at everything.
I was actually thinking, I don't know the character's name either, but the monkey from Aladdin.
Oh,
Abu.
Abu. Oh,
because
yeah.
he's usually the smarter one in the pairing, but doesn't get the credit for anything they do.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
And I do vex Michael.
Yeah, I think that's a really good pairing. As Michael as Aladdin and Trevor as Abu.
And I do my eyes.
Wait, what are you trying to say?
Oh wait, and if I'm Jafar, that means like all three of us get our own movie.
I just get the beast. I'm happy.
No, Dan's reading in his massive library.
So let's reset this. What character is Dan in Aladdin?
The genie? No, I don't know.
Dan's a genie.
I mean, you do have I think the most musical talent out of all of us.
And I'm blue.
Yeah.
I feel like Jasmine is sort of the smartest, like the most book read of the bunch. She's practical.
Yeah, but then that would put me and Dan across from each other, and I feel like that just doesn't play.
No. I think I'm the genie. I'm the magical genie helping Aladdin get what he wants.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. You
So,
never had a friend
what
like
characters
me.
do you think we would be, listeners? Let us know. We've got all these social media sites that you can go to and let us know at.
Go.
We're on Twitter and Instagram as @BigFatGay. We're on Twitter and Instagram as @BigFatGayPod. We're on Facebook as the Big Fat Gay Podcast. Our website is www.bigfatgaypod.com. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. I feel like
Stitcher?
I forgot something. And Stitcher. And on Facebook, too. Leave us 5 stars. 5 stars everywhere. And if you're listening in the car, there's a mailman behind you with a letter. And he hands it to you, and you're not going to open it, but he's staring at you. And you open
With
it.
a pleading look in his eyes.
So you open it, and you're still kind of looking at him, and then you read it, and it says... and the letter says... And Michael,
Look out.
yeah.